Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mathilda, and if you're new here, I do content on lifestyle, wellness and mental health. Today's video is all about living a double life. Sometimes I feel like I'm low-key Hannah Montana because 9 to 6 I'm a cybersecurity analyst, 6 to night I'm a content creator on TikTok, YouTube and Instagram. So today I actually asked a couple of questions to you guys on my Instagram, and you guys served with a couple of questions that we're gonna go through today. Of course, I have to prime the entire video by mentioning what I do, and then we'll go into the questions. So between my 9 to 6, I'm a threat intelligence analyst, and that means that I'm basically scouring the threat landscape and trying to understand if any of that news, be it development in the tactics and procedures of threat actors, or if there are any new malware that's known, I have to kind of internalize that within our organization to see if we have the detection and prevention methods all in place. The role is full-on operational, strategic and tactical as well. On the second part, which is my 6 to night PM, 6 to night PM, that's not even a word, but 6 to night, I'm a content creator on several social media platforms, and what I do during that time would typically be me heading out for events for brand launches or maybe paid event appearances, or also creating content over the weekend, and this is mainly for like campaign work, right, for different brands. So yeah, I've been doing cyber for around maybe 5, almost 6 years since I graduated from poly when I was 21, and I'm 26. And I've been doing content diligently, I think, and properly, starting earning money from 27. Camera ran out of memory. Anyways, like I was saying, I started earning money diligently from social media in 2017, and I've been since doing that for that's like about 6 years now. Okay, let's start things easy. The first question was your life working in cyber. So I think I answered this the other video, or maybe one video ago, talking about how I experienced a lot about imposter syndrome and how I always never felt like I fit in as a cyber girly, because I did accountancy back in school. So inherently it's already a mismatch, right? Accounting is very different from cybersecurity principles, and there was a lot to undertake and go through during the first 2 to 3 years of my career. It was very arduous, very tough journey to really understand the basics and to really understand the theoretical knowledge. So I'm not really someone who has been through like operations and done all the red hat hacking, all of that. I'm more of like a risk and compliance person, so I've been that person for about 4 years before switching to a cyber threat intelligence role, which now demands me to be operational and to have that kind of a reactive, proactive way of dealing with cyber threats. So it's a lot different now, and I think the stakes are quite high. If I were to do this all over again, I would have started probably from an operations role versus a risk and compliance role, because in operations you get to learn how to react very quickly, adapt to situations and apply all that theoretical knowledge into your actual work. So yeah, that's how life has been like working in cyber so far. A lot of roller coasters, and also a lot of processes that I had to really pick up when I first started. And now moving on to the next question, it was how do you juggle both your day job and content creation? So I get this question quite often with my peers as well, but I think it's all about what is that word? It's all about compartmentalizing things. So, and also being very strict with your times, right? So let's say how a typical day would look like is, let's say if I were to leave my home at 8:30 and I'll reach the office at 9:30, that 1 hour, perhaps taking the train, buses, or even carpooling with my colleagues, I would dedicate that 1 hour to trying to create content for the whole week. So that would mean sourcing for reels, sourcing for TikToks that I want to post, and that's when I kind of, let's say it's a Monday, right, when you start the whole week, That's when I kind of lay the foundation of how the week will look like, and then I will only start shooting the content or reusing content that was filmed during the weekend to relay those messages throughout the week. So that's like the first hour of the day. I head on to work from 9:30 to about 12. 12 is lunchtime, so that's when I will usually post a couple of stories to engage my audience on social media, and then back to work again. So it's like 1 to 6 it'll be work, right? Beyond that, I will spend all the commute times that I have to go and edit videos, and also to put in like captions, do copywriting, all of that. And then finally I'm at an event, and that's where I talk to people in the industry. That's where I also network with different brands and try to understand if they have any other projects that are coming up. So that's how a typical day would look like. But on the weekends it's a lot different, right? Because on the weekends I have a lot more time to film, to edit, and that's when the bulk of it happens. And then the content is just littered throughout the entire week. So that's how it works. I have to say though, that's me answering on a very surface level of how I juggle things, but emotionally it is quite taxing because some projects require you to have multiple changes based on maybe the client's expectations, and that would mean it would eat into some times. Like sometimes I do things such as like I would run to the washroom at work sometimes just to make a quick edit, and I think it's what you want to prioritize, right? For me, if like I have a paid project that is like due and it has a very short time frame for turnaround, I would prioritize that if in that week. Now the next question is there some tips on how you manage your timetable and calendar? I do have a live calendar that I keep on Notion, and it really just looks something very simple like this, where you can see on each day there are certain events that are plotted already. Let's take a look at the 7th of November. So today is the 6th of November. Oh my god, I just dropped my own phone. And tomorrow is Tuesday, so I have a dinner scheduled with some friends over here. And can you see the words? Oh no, you can't really see the words. Let's see. Yeah, so I have like the time and the location of where I'm meeting them. So I know exactly what events I'm going for after work. But typically during work, we also have Microsoft Teams, right? So that's where all of my dates and all of my time slots are freed up for work. Possibly the number one issue about handling a double calendar is double booking myself for certain things. So I find that a lot of events tend to coincide with each other, and it's a little bit difficult sometimes to go and commit to 2 events in one night because it's not only physically taxing but also emotionally taxing, where you're like, okay, one brand is like, let's say a home care product, and then the next you're going to a luxury event. It's like you have to switch your mind between 2 places. So now in 2023 I've learned to be more selective in terms of the events that I go for, so that I know how to spend my energy more wisely. Nice. Please proceed. How did you know that cybersecurity was the one for you? Do you feel the job is boring when compared to 6 to 9? Oh babes, it's time for you to sit down for this. Okay, to lay the context first, right? And to give you my thought process when I was 21, was that I graduated from poly doing accountancy, and I knew I hated that subject matter because I felt it was a little bit boring, and I wanted something that was exciting and difficult to learn, and also allowed me the chance to progress really quickly in my career. Now that being said, I always also had a weird little dream of mine to work in the skylines of Singapore, and I don't know who put that idea in my mind, probably my parents or, well, capitalism. But yeah, so I always knew also, like, if I wanted a lifestyle that was full of like glitz and glam, like I know I had to work hard for it, right? So that's why I put myself into an apprenticeship program at a bank, where they allowed for students who are from any kind of discipline to try out their programs and to figure out whether banking is for them or not. So I signed myself up for a global technology role at the beginning, which was like doing a lot of project management, DevOps, and then slowly I chanced upon an opportunity in cyber risk management, and that's how I really got started, right? And that's how the interest peaked.
OnlyFans corner.
It's filming, baby. Go! Anyways, was I at? Okay, I think I said something along the lines of so I placed myself in an apprenticeship where in a bank where I was able to make mistakes and still learn a lot at the same time. And as we all know, information is always free online on Google, and back then in 2018 I realized that damn, like in the cybersecurity space, like people are earning a lot in the space because it's such a difficult topic to grasp, and also you need a lot of training, technical training involved and everything. So I thought, hey, I've already have an in, why not just continue pursuing it? Of course though, when you're so young, impressionable and very easily influenced, there are so many other ideas and options out there for you. So I wanted to delve into the space of the cyber realm and to understand like, hey, do I really even like this kind of job? And I wanted to try different parts of it. So I developed myself further in risk and compliance, and then did more security awareness, did a bit of operations as well, and then finally landed into my current role where it really stretched my abilities. And that's when I realized that, hey, you know what? Well, right now I'm telling you this because I've discovered it about myself, is that maybe it might not be something I want to talk about for the rest of my life. And I think that's perfectly fine. I'm 26 now. I also don't really think that anyone is like at a dead end at 26. Like, you still have time to make mistakes, so, or not really to make mistakes, but to experience things, right? It's how you really frame that whole journey of yours and how healthy you approach career finding and everything. So I find that at this point in time of my life, like, I still have bandwidth to try even more things. And I find that maybe back to this question, cybersecurity was for me, for the first 4 to 5 years. And perhaps now, maybe something else is waiting for me on the other side, which I've yet given myself the chance to explore. So I can't really answer as to how did I know whether this was the one for me, because I feel that as humans, like, we can choose so many different choices and paths in our lives. So I really am not sure yet. How do you find the energy? Haha, the 9 to 6 drains me so much already. I think I've always been someone who is very easily attracted to good energy, and I would pour in a lot of that into whatever I'm doing, right? So I'll give you a very simple example. Back when I was 16, so I started working quite young, part-time, as a brand representative, or I think a fashion coordinator at Topshop. So Topshop was fashion coordinator, and then A&F, Abercrombie & Fitch, was brand representative. So all these were like customer facing kind of jobs, retail jobs, right, that you will pick up when you're very young. So I think that job actually set the stone for me, because I had to work long hours, literally think 8 to 10 hours standing on the retail floor, talking to people, doing things like replenishing stock, putting back items where it belongs. So I think from 16, I've really kind of built that tenacity to last for long days. It could be like 12 to 10 p.m. shifts. It could be like 2 to 11 p.m. shifts. And you would still show up every single time because you're young and you're full of energy. And yeah, I think that's really why I'm able to last for long hours in a day, like really 12 to 15 hours, because I've done that before, and it's not like my body is so unused to it. Another part of that energy aspect is that I'm glad even in my office, or now that I'm working from home, because I'm kind of dealing with some like sinus issues, but throughout the day I find myself doing different cognitive things, and rather just like focusing on the blue screen during that 9 to 6 time. So back in the office, I would have standing tables. I would be able to walk around, get coffee, go to the nearby park, come back, and that allows me to move around and like not just be stuck in one position. Similarly as well, in the content creator scene, when you're out at events, you're not standing in one place and just talking to one person at each time. You're going out and you're going to events and like touching things, experiencing different things, talking to many groups of people. So I don't think it's really about draining in any sense. I feel it's draining only if you want it to be draining. I think the mind is also a very powerful thing, right? You can will it to do whatever you want. So if you find that, you know, your work drains you, is it because like maybe things like interest is not really there, or you're not moving about as often, you're kind of just stuck in one spot and just like facing your entire energy on it? Like that could be something or a few factors that would affect how your energy levels are throughout the day. I mean, that's just my take, and that's how I've viewed like the whole energy storage kind of topic. So I feel like we're actually going to go to our last question now, because I received 2 other questions that were talking about how do you even step out and begin to create and curate content, and how does one break out into the creator scene. But I feel like that deserves a whole other video by itself, because this one was about juggling 2 different lives. So now we're going to go into our last and final questions, is how do you manage work 1, work 2 and life balance? So I think that's one part that we didn't discuss earlier. We only talked about on the surface level how we juggle 2 jobs, right? So now this time around there's a life element inside. And I think this is my biggest lesson of the year, which is that I don't know why, sometimes when you talk too much to people and when you're interfacing with so many different things, you get a little bit overwhelmed. That I personally didn't craft out any time for myself, right? All my time was given to events, it was given to filming things, it was given to you guys on social media, it was given to my 9 to 6, my boss, my stakeholders, my friends at work. And I think that was the clear issue, was that I wasn't creating enough time for myself. By not creating enough time for myself, I was constantly quite agitated, like, oh damn, like I don't have enough time to do this, like I have to do 3 things at once, like dry my hair, eat my food, or even put up the clothes at the same time. So I find that I'm always multitasking, especially for things that are done for myself, right? And for everyone else, I'm like, okay, I'll drop everything for them and I'll concentrate my whole time and energy for them. But nowadays, I've been genuinely trying to be more strict with how I spend my time and how I want to spend my days, right? So for weekends now, I don't really have a hard and fast rule, but I try to keep one day really fully free, and just where like the wind takes me, right? Because I think also one way that I tried to cope with this was that I would escape to the nearest country. That could be Bali, it could be somewhere else. But that was the only time I had to rest, right? And I think it was really interesting as well, because the other day I saw an article about how Singaporeans constantly going overseas just to be able to catch up on sleep. Don't you think that's crazy? Like, why don't we do that in our own time now, right? So I think, yeah, I'll link the article to you guys later in the description, but I think that was the biggest differentiator as to how I was not genuinely managing work 1, work 2 and life balance, which was because I didn't craft enough time for myself. But yeah, anyways, I think I've come to the end, and I hope you guys have enjoyed all the insights. Once again, please feel free to like, share and subscribe, you know, the usual stuff. And I hope to be able to create more content, because girly got a MacBook now, and I want to hopefully speed up the whole process of trying to edit my videos. But yeah, we will save the topics on how to become a content creator in the Singapore landscape maybe in the next video, and I hope all of this will be helpful to you guys. Anyway, take care and see you guys in the next video. Bye!